My daughter was diagnosed with Turner syndrome when I was 12 weeks pregnant, and that very quickly changed the rest of my pregnancy. Every time I share this story, I get a flood of DMs of girls who can relate and who are going through similar things. So I almost feel like this call to share about it so that people don't feel alone. Because when I was going through it, I felt very alone and very unseen. And that's the last thing I want any new mom to feel. So let's chat about it. It does kind of suck that I have to give so many disclaimers, but obviously this is my story, and every single story, especially with Turner syndrome, is going to be so incredibly different. But I want to share my story in hopes that it can give a little bit of hope to moms experiencing this. So I went in for my 12-week genetics test, and at that appointment, they started to measure that her neck was a little bit wider than like typical range. I went to this appointment by myself, not thinking anything of it. We were just excited to find out the gender and didn't really think much past that. Shortly after that though, the nurse pulled me into another room that was a little bit smaller, and I was waiting for a little bit, and I was kind of like, seems like weird, but maybe I'm just like waiting for some test results. Turns out I was, but I was waiting to talk to the doctor because the doctor came in and told me that there was like a high risk or chance that our daughter, at the time we didn't know the gender, but was going to have like Down syndrome or some sort of genetic disorder, which I went to this appointment alone, and it was a very like scary thing to hear on my own. Like, I wish my husband was there with me. Obviously we didn't know this was going to happen, but I kind of wish that the doctors would have said, I don't even know what I wish that they would have said, because like there's no way to like go back in time, and like I have no idea what would have made it better. But because of this, they sent me in for, I say this wrong all the time, but amniocentesis. All the nurses out there can correct me. I'm sure I said it wrong, but you get the gist. I went in for one of those to kind of confirm the diagnosis, and it came back with Turner syndrome, which is very scary. When you get that diagnosis, the doctors told me that there was like a 97 to 99% chance of a miscarriage. I found out at 12 weeks, so that was a very early on thing to find out. I will say because of that, I feel like I never fully relaxed during my pregnancy or really enjoyed my first pregnancy at all. I feel like it was a very scary experience the whole time, because every single appointment I was kind of going to holding my breath. Really didn't share a whole lot with people because I just like didn't know what I was experiencing or didn't know what I was feeling. And so it was like hard to explain that to people, or what I was going through, or the diagnosis and all of that. Anyways, the reason that I am sharing this is because I want to share the final outcome. When I had my daughter, there ended up being no emergency surgeries, which actually can be pretty typical to have heart surgery, open heart surgery after the baby's born, kidney, I think when your kidneys are combined, I don't know, there's just like a lot of things that they monitor. So I had my daughter in the children's hospital where there were doctors on like site ready for anything that could go wrong, because I was considered a high risk pregnancy my whole pregnancy. But I share this now because I want to say that everything ended up turning out totally fine. My daughter was born healthy, strong. She's growing perfectly fine. She's very much shorter than all of the girls her age. She's like a head shorter, which is totally typical. Usually Turner syndrome have their own like growth chart, which is far below like